But before we do anything, let's stand to our feet and follow along to this worship song.
In life, there will be times when we face hard things, but God promises to be with us and help us in our times of trouble. Today, we will see what it means to trust God's promises to be with us. Let's say what we need to know together. God promises to be with me. Today, we are going to revisit a story in the Bible that we've talked about, and that person is Naomi, and she had experienced some really hard things in her life. First, she and her family was forced to go and live in another country because there's no food in their homeland. Then her husband died and she was a widow in a foreign land. Let's watch the video and see what happens.
Hi kids, how are you today? Do you want to hear a new story? Today, I will tell you a story about a lady who lost her whole family. But she had a daughter-in-law who loved her so much that she was willing to follow her wherever she went to live. A long time ago, in the land of Judah, there was a little town called Bethlehem. In the town, there lived a man named Elimelech who had a wife named Naomi and two sons, Mahlon and Chilion. One day, a famine started in the land of Judah. There was no food and everything was dry. So Elimelech decided to leave his home to search for a better land with his family. He traveled very far and found a city called Moab. There, they decided to settle and make it their new home. They lived there for some time when a sad thing took place. Elimelech died, leaving behind Naomi and her 2 sons. So the 2 sons grew up without their father and married women from Moab, whose names were Orpah and Ruth. They lived 10 years together, but another very sad thing happened. Mahlon and Chilion also died. Naomi's whole family was gone. She was left with their wives, Orpah and Ruth. The famine in Judah ended, and God blessed the land, so that there was food again. Naomi heard people talking about it, and her heart was very happy. She longed to return to her own country. Orpah and Ruth loved her so much that they were willing to go with her. But Naomi told them to go back to their families. They begged her, but she would not agree. In tears, Orpah returned to her family, but Ruth was determined to stay with her. Ruth told Naomi, "I will not leave you, Naomi. Wherever you go, I will go. And wherever you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God." With joy appearing on her face, Naomi agreed, and they packed up their belongings and returned to Judah together. What an amazing story, kids! Ruth was determined to stay with Naomi because she loved her. Even after she had lost everything, she still wanted to stay with her. Be there for your family and friends, even in the bad times. And we need to love them and be good to them. My time is up, kids, and I have to go. Thank you for joining me today. Let's meet next time for another wonderful story. Goodbye.
Still, God wasn't finished. He gave Ruth and Boaz a boy named Obed. When Obed grew up, he had a son named Jesse. Then Jesse had a son named David. David would go on to become the famous king of Israel. It is the same David that we're also talking about in our services here, the one that fought Goliath. Because Ruth and Naomi followed and trusted God, they saw that He was with them no matter what was happening in their lives. Let's practice one more time what we need to know. God promises to be with me. We are learning a verse to remember that God always keeps His promises. Let's say it together. God isn't a mere human. He can't lie. He isn't a human being. He doesn't change His mind. He speaks and then He acts. He makes a promise and then He keeps it. Numbers 23:19. Before we end today, I have a couple of questions for you to think about. First, what are some situations we might face when it's hard to believe God is really with us? Second, how does it affect those around us when we trust His promise as we go through hard times? I hope to see you all next time, either in person or virtually.